بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ثم أما بعد. So inshallah we're going to go through some series of books. The first one we did was about the Quran, because there is some people would raise questions and create doubts for Muslims about the Quran, and we went through a very important kitab called Al-Naba Al-Azim, the great news, the great Naba, was wrote by Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah Diraz, and he mentioned a very good point, logical point, about that the Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it is impossible for a man to come up with this Quran. Inshallah, we will repeat some of his points, inshallah, through the course. And this time, inshallah, we'll go with the Sunnah. As you know, the Wahy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Quran and Sunnah. It's not only the Quran. The Wahy, the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, including Quran and Sunnah. And this is why many people right now, they try to attack Islam by talking about mainly, I will say, before collapse of the Khilafah, they were attacking Muslims. In the last 200 years, many Orientalists, they study Islam very deeply, they study Arabic, they study the books of fiqh, books of tafsir, books of hadith, and they were able to, not to find mistakes, but actually to create confusion for many Muslims. And this is why it happened that we see now many women are taking their hijab off, because there is some so-called shuyukh or da'iyah, caller for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are confused, and they are confusing women about the hijab is not fard, and and because they are defeated against the other civilizations, and because they don't know Arabic well, so they are confused, and they confuse people more. And inshallah we'll go through some examples through this material, inshallah. So this kitab called Afi Sunnah Shak, is there any doubt in the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Which is not, of course. So it's the title of the kitab is a question. Okay? And he started the kitab. The writer is a young man in Bilad al-Haramain, what's so called Saudi Arabia now. And he's working with many shuyukh to go against the wave of attacking Islam, those who attack Islam. Those who attack Islam, so he goes after them and created many programs. Leave it, and then we can, if we don't like it, we erase it. But if we don't record it and we like it, we will not be able to. Okay. He started the kitab, Sheikh Ahmed Sayyid, and we said, inshallah, when we go through this kitab, today just we'll give you the introduction, inshallah. So he started the kitab with the famous and authentic hadith. Rasulullah said, "Ala inni utitu al-kitaba wa mithlahu ma'a." I was giving the book, which is the Quran, and something else equal to it, which is what? Sunnah. So Rasulullah was given the Quran and given the Sunnah, and this makes the Sunnah equal to the Quran. Not, of course, the Quran has higher level because or status because the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But both of them came from Allah, wahy from Allah. This is what the meaning. So the Quran will give us aqimus salah, right? Establish salah, perform salah. But how we go through the salah? How we know how many rak'ah we pray? How we know that you have to recite Surah Al-Fatiha and Surah and Ruku'ah and two sujood and all that? Where we know this from? From Sunnah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to Rasulullah the Quran, perform the salah, and revealed to Rasulullah in the Sunnah how to perform the salah. So they are complement in that way. Okay? And then he said, repeating again, ألا إني وأوتيت الكتاب ومثله معه ألا يوشك رجل ينثني شبعانا على أريكته يقول عليكم بالقرآن فما وجدتم فيه من حلال فأحلوه وما وجدتم فيه من حرام فحرموه. He said, one day it will come, someone will sit in his sofa and he's full, like eating and watching TV and he said, you take only the Quran. Whatever you find the Quran halal, will follow it. Whatever is haram, will not do it. That's it. Meaning he will deny the Sunnah as a source of halal and haram in our deen. You can interrupt anytime if you want. So I will just and then inshallah in the kitab he made mainly two main topics that we will discuss inshallah or study. Number one, he will go through the documentation of and the effort of ulama to document the Sunnah. So how the ulama documented the Sunnah from early stage to up to now. And it's a continuous process that never stopped. But there is a famous milestone in the history of Sunnah documentation when Tadween, what we call Tadween Sunnah, writing the Sunnah in books, like Imam Bukhari wrote his kitab, and Imam Muslim, Nisa'i, Ibn Majah, all the great, we have like 6 books of Sunnah, or 6, we have 6 or 9, like you can go 6 and then you can add another 3, it will be 9. This is Kutub al-Sunnah al-Sitta or Kutub al-Sunnah al-Tis'a. So we have famous books of Sunnah, 6, inshallah we'll go through them in this material. And up to 9, okay? So he will say what happened through this, okay? Up to our date, up to now. The second point that he will mention is the authenticity of the Sunnah, how the Sunnah is authentic and the proof that the Sunnah is authentic from Quran, from Sunnah, and from Ijma'. Ijma' means when the full agreement of the Ummah about certain things, that for example hijab, again, when I was young, nobody doubted hijab, nobody asked questions about hijab. Okay, now people start to ask questions. So we have, for 1400 years ago, nobody even think about hijab. Why all of a sudden hijab now is not a fard, and some people will come with stupid questions about hijab. Hijab is fard. Okay, and if you have any doubt, Maryam, alayhi salam, was from which religion? Maryam was what? What religion of Maryam?
Mary.
I know she was Muslim in general, but she was Christian, Jews, or
Christian.
She was Jew. Before Jesus, before Musa, Maryam كانت تتبع الدين اليهودي. She was following Judaism. She was a Jew. Okay? So how Maryam will look in any church? With hijab. Full hijab, like a Muslim woman, like our mothers and our grandmothers that we know. Right? And inshallah we'll take on the hijab especially, because I know there is a many, questions. Inshallah we'll go through the hijab, and each one of us will deliver this to others. Because now the battle is not about, the people who deny the hijab, sometimes they don't come to the masjid. But you may find one in your family member, so you go after them, huh? So we'll counter-attack them. We'll go after them. Number 3, the third point, the Sheikh mentioned what we call ilm al-hadith, the science of hadith. Muslim established for the first time in history. Thank you very much. You come every day. So, they established for the first time in history a science how to make sure this story is authentic or not, sahih or not, right or wrong. And actually, we have famous people. One of them is Ibn Khaldun. Ibn Khaldun, rahmatullah alayh, he was like a historian. He wrote history, and while he's reading the previous books, they said Muslims army met the Roman army in the valley, so and so, and the Roman was 300,000 soldiers and Muslims were 50,000, and Muslims defeated them. So what he did, he was living in Tunisia, North Africa. He would travel all the way to the Sham, to Syria now, and he will measure the valley. He will measure the valley. And he said this valley will never take 300, 400 soldiers, maximum 100,000. So maybe the Roman was 80,000 and Muslims was 20,000. So he will put the narrations under scientific method to make sure the story is correct. This is why he accepted and rejected many stories, because, you know, if you come to the masjid, how many people pray Jum'ah, by the way, in the masjid?
700.
No, you stay silent. You know, how many? Some, huh? Like some people say, oh, 10,000, 5,000, you know. It's only 700. They pray Jum'ah. But some people, when they count, when they see the crowd coming out and the cars, oh, mashallah, like 10,000 people come to the masjid. So people all the time, they go over by nature. Okay, so this what ulama al-hadith, the scholars of hadith, they made sure this is authentic. And they inshallah, we will, when we reach this point, we'll take simple points of al-hadith and on the board, whiteboard, and we write down the small sketch, but it's mainly like a filtration process. It's a quality control, what they accept and what they rejected. So there's many ahadith they will accept based on certain criteria, and many ahadith they will reject based on the same criteria. And this effort was recognized by many ulama, even non-Muslims. And the other point he will mention after that is he will answer some fishy questions, some questions that raised by non-Muslims and by some Muslims who are confused Muslims about the Sunnah. Okay, and when you understand, when we go through the point number 3, which is the effort of the ulama, number 4 will be so easy. The last point, the questions, you will recognize these people. You know, they didn't make them. You know,
they don't know what they are talking about.
Yeah, the one who raises the questions doesn't know the quality of these people and the effort they did and the scientific method they did. Like someone, you know, you have a tablet or a phone. You said, yeah, I can make one. Can you make one? Oh, yeah, I can make one. I just go on YouTube and watch how to make it, how things are made, and I make one. But you know, there's a lot of R&D and programming and hardware and material selection and software and you know. So if you go to Apple plant and research center and you stay there for a month, you see what they do, and then you will come out and you respect everything about this device.
It's very good that you can use it.
Okay, so this is the roadmap for the book. But before we start, and inshallah we'll start next time, but I will mention you a nice story that I have. And the reason I mention this story is I have a friend, a Christian friend, that we used to debate. And I remember this very well, that debate, it was on the phone, because he used to live in Orangeville, which is 1 hour from here. So he has what we call study Bible, which is mainly like the book of tafsir for us. So they have the verse and they will explain it. So over the phone, and I asked him, what is the holy word? What is holy? Which one? The word of God. So he said the 5 chapters in the Old Testament, which is Torah. This is the word of God. This is the Torah that Allah revealed to Musa alayhi salam. So because I'm a simple man, I come from Fallahin, from farmers. So I told him, so the story of Musa this alayhi salam, Moses' death, will not be mentioned. Yes or no? Okay, you have the first 5 books, Allah revealed to Musa. But the moment Musa died, passed away, what will happen?
Revelation will stop.
Stopped. So the death of Musa will not be mentioned there. Yes or no?
That's right, yeah, would not be mentioned because
Yeah,
it's the end.
أتمنى وصدقه.
Jibreel will come down. Where is Musa in the graveyard? No wahi. Right? Jibreel revealed the wahi to Musa alayhi salam. Yes or no? So Jibreel came one day, Musa, Azrael came before him, took him away on the grave, right? So Jibreel came down, of course he knows, I'm joking, but he knows that Musa is dead, so there is no wahi. Make sense? So I told him, let's check. So subhanAllah, the end of the chapter 5 of the Torah, what they call Torah, it mentions the story of death of Musa. So I told him what they say in the study Bible. He said that the scholars of Judaism and Christianity, they add the story of Moses' death ﷺ to finish the Torah. Imagine, this is what it's not us claiming this. Them, they're scholars, they're scientists, they saying we add this up so the story is complete. You know, like you go to a movie and there's no end. Oh, they stop the movie 5 minutes before the end. You take your ticket back, right? So they want to finish the movie, they want to finish. They have the end. So subhanAllah, these people are attacking the Sunnah of Rasulullah and they don't have the same methodology. Number one, they admit they are making this. For us in Sunnah, this will be fabricated hadith, rejected. When we have a fabricated hadith, someone else put the wording on the tongue of Rasulullah, what we do? Say hadith mawdu'a, rejected, fabricated, we don't take it, right?
Sometimes even Sahabi, after he narrated the hadith, will add like 2 or 3 words as an explanation for hadith. And the scholars will say these 3 words are not among the hadith.
Not from
It's just they were added by the companion to explain the hadith. So they are not hadith. Even though they are the same meaning, they are not adding anything.
Yeah.
It's not accepted.
So subhanAllah, these people that they try to stone us and attack us, this is the quality of the book they have. Of course, we believe in the Torah. We don't. There's many. When you read the Torah, you for sure you know this is the word of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. When you read the New Testament, Injil, it is the word of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. But you can tell what is the word of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and what is fabricated. What is the human fabrication or add-on to the Injil and Torah. So inshallah, and we will learn through this process inshallah, subhanallah, even you don't know, you don't talk Arabic, but when you listen to the Quran, there is a certain tone, there is a certain eloquency in the Quran. The Hadith of Rasulullah, there is a certain way that Rasulullah used to talk. And when you read the Torah and Injil, you know this is not original, it's translated, it's something different. Even the truth, there's some truth in it. You also will see in the Hadith of Rasulullah that is fabricated, you will see little act and then a great reward. Like if you do, if you come to the masjid, 700 angels will give you, and every angel has 700,000 wings, and every wings have 700. So you just made little things, but people, so this is, you will be able to know the word of Rasulullah from the other people, that you get a great reward for little acts that doesn't make sense. All this stuff you will find in the Torah. In the Torah you will find also, astaghfirullah azim, that Allah will come down and wrestle with Yaqub. Or Allah will talk to Adam in a way that they are equal. And let them not eat from the tree of knowledge, otherwise they will be like us. What knowledge Adam will get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Allah didn't, the story of Adam when he ate from the tree, Allah didn't even know that he ate from the tree.
Yeah, in the Torah.
He was hiding,
He
lost his clothes, and he was hiding, and all of a sudden he heard the knocking of the shoe. The shoes of God, walking in Jannah, calling Adam, where are you? Don't tell me that you ate from the tree. But Adam came from out the tree, covering himself with tree leaves. Yeah, I ate from the tree. So he didn't know. and he didn't even know that Adam is hiding.
And this is the problem. These scientists and these scholars that have the Torah and Injil are the one who claim these problems in the Sunnah. This is where we are not attacking them, we are not criticizing them, but we are saying if you follow a scientific method, you have to apply it on Torah, Injil, Quran and Sunnah. And then you give me grades. You give me, okay, this is number 1, this number 2, number 3. So subhanAllah, the Sunnah which is, it was written of Rasulullah many years, part of it was written in the life of Rasulullah, of course, higher than the Torah, from authentic point of view. And again, this inshallah what we will go through the next inshallah times and session inshallah. So inshallah just today, just introduction to get you attached to what we're going to say inshallah. So every Jum'ah inshallah after Sunnah of Isha, we stay for half an hour, 45 minutes. If there's any questions or comments?
I just want to know what was the era when this scholar is